CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Evan Kenny.
So I saw the lightning. It hit her pretty much directly. It flashed all around her.
A woman is recovering in hospital after being struck by lightning during yesterday's storm. Good evening. A woman in Edmonton was rushed to hospital after being struck by lightning in a West Edmonton neighborhood. Today, her roommate is praising the quick response of EMS. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
This is a glimpse of a severe storm that rolled through Edmonton Thursday afternoon. One of the lightning bolts struck in the Collingwood neighborhood.
I was on the bus a couple blocks back. We heard it, saw the flash. I mean, the crack was so loud, you thought it was right next to you.
I heard the thunder and everything. At first, I thought it was a gunshot, but I noticed it was way too loud to be a gunshot.
Laura Penner says her roommate had just left to walk to the store. Penner says after she heard the bang, she looked outside. That's when she saw her roommate lying on the ground right here.
So I saw the lightning. It hit her pretty much directly. It flashed all around her. And so I ended up getting my partner and then my other partner to run over and administer CPR while I called EMS.
By that time, Marty Hemrick had gotten off the bus, steps away from where the woman was laying on the ground.
My first thought, because of the world today, do you need Narcan? No, she doesn't do drugs. She got hit by lightning. I was about to step up and help with the CPR because I have some training.
He wasn't needed. There's an EMS station about a block away, and Penner says a crew was able to get to the woman about a minute after the call.
And so it was really amazing that they were able to get out here so quick.
They worked on her for 20 minutes before they loaded her up, so, you know, because what I saw there, you know, is pretty sad, you know, to be just out for a walk.
She was taken to hospital in critical condition. Penner says she's still unconscious and sedated. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A 34-year-old man is accused of impersonating an Edmonton police officer, as well as breaking into a woman's home and sexually assaulting her. Court documents show Kyle Edmund Boozman is charged with 2 counts of impersonating police, obtaining property under false pretense, and breaking into a home with intent. The offenses are alleged to have happened between May 1st and July 6th. Edmonton police say they're investigating the use of an officer's uniform in a criminal incident. They say its officer had no knowledge of the incident and was not involved in any way. The city of Edmonton confirms the accused is a city employee. It says he's currently on leave and his employment status will be determined based on the results of the investigation. Both EPS and the city declined an interview. Boozman is set to appear in court next month. A woman in Southeast Edmonton says she woke up to a stranger in her bed. Police are now releasing a sketch of the man. This happened in May. Police say the woman was sexually assaulted. She left the home immediately, and when she returned, he was gone. The man is described as Hispanic or South Asian, possibly in his early 20s, clean-shaven, and 5'6" or 7 with a slight build. Investigators say they believe this was an isolated incident and there is no risk to the public. Anyone with information can contact police or Crime Stoppers. An Edmonton man is charged with sexually assaulting a minor. RCMP in Fort Saskatchewan received the report at the end of June. Earlier this month, officers charged 22-year-old Amir Audric Ventula. He's expected to be in court at the end of the month. An 18-year-old Calgary man and his family are pleading for answers after the teen was attacked during a road rage incident. His attackers are still on the loose. CTV's Mark Villani has more, and a warning, some of the images in this story may be disturbing.
4th Avenue Northeast is normally a family-friendly street with a local daycare and an elementary school. But that peace was shattered around 9:30 p.m. on July 15th.
It was terrifying. Terrifying.
That's the voice of an 18-year-old who was brutally attacked in a road rage incident. CTV News is protecting his identity as well as his parents for safety reasons as police search for the 2 men responsible. Surveillance video shows the teen practicing parallel parking in an SUV with his mom, preparing for an upcoming road test. When a white pickup truck pulled too close, the teen admits he flipped the driver off. The truck left, but came back moments later, parking on the wrong side of the road. 2 men jumped jumped out, banged on the SUV's windows, and pulled the teen from the vehicle.
I get 1 foot out, and that's where my memory goes blank pretty much from there. Almost my entire rib cage on the left side is bruised, and my spleen is enlarged.
He was struck several times, believed to be with a crowbar. His mother tried to break it up, but he was kicked on the ground before the men took off.
I never want to relive anything like that. There's going to be people looking. They're always going to be looking now, like me. I look every day at the camera, at all the vehicles that pass by. It would be nice if they would turn themselves in.
I ran down there and I seen blood was everywhere. It infuriates me.
The man's father says he's still shaken and wants accountability.
The one guy that was in the passenger seat had full intent on causing harm. You can see him right clear as day on the camera rummaging through the back seat of his truck to grab something.
Police describe both suspects as between 5'8" and 6 feet tall. One was wearing a navy tee and black pants, the other a white tee, black pants, and a black hat. Their vehicle is a white early 2000s Chevy Silverado with something extending from the truck bed. Investigators also want to speak with the occupants of a white Ford Fusion who may have witnessed or recorded the attack.
Probably one of the scariest things I'll probably witness or be in my entire life.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Strathcona County has lifted water restrictions after its main water supply was damaged. Last night, people were told to cut back or postpone all non-essential water use. EPCOR says the line was damaged during infrastructure upgrades. It says the water line's location was closer than previously thought. EPCOR says repairs are ongoing. It says customers are still receiving water. About a dozen seniors from Jasper are now living in Hinton as they wait for their lodge that burned down to be rebuilt. They are just some of the Jasperites still settling into new living situations 1 year after a wildfire tore through their town. As CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, Hinton's housing market is feeling the pressure, but some new provincial housing is on its way to help lighten the load.
Like the rest of Alberta, Hinton's population is growing. Among the newcomers, Jasperites displaced by last summer's wildfire, like this group of seniors. Their old home, Pine Grove Manor, is gone.
They've integrated very well into the community and into the different communities of ours or elsewhere that they've moved into, but they miss home.
Town councillor and Evergreen's CAO Kristen Chambers says about a dozen Jasper seniors now call Hinton home. A handful of others found spaces in the Edson Lodge or with family elsewhere. An upgrade from the hotel rooms the low-income seniors had been placed in after the fire.
The last one actually just being housed the first week of June.
Rebuilding that lodge in Jasper will take a while. In the meantime, the displaced seniors are preparing to move into new modular homes coming to this land in Hinton. The provincial government has committed $18 million to build 21 homes. A press secretary tells CTV the land will be serviced soon, and we are working towards having the modular homes on site later this summer so residents can move into their new homes this fall.
It's interim for the Pine Grove residents because naturally they will be going back to their community as soon as places are available, but it will remain permanent housing managed by the Evergreens Foundation long-term for low to moderate income seniors.
New housing stock is hard to come by in Hinton as its population grows. Council is exploring infill options and identifying public land that could be used for homes. A steady stream of Jasperites have been settling in Hinton in the year since the fire, entering a housing market that was already stretched.
Definitely putting a lot of pressure on the market. Houses are going fast, and there's a lot of activity in the real estate market here. Chambers
expects her town will be feeling knock-on effects from the Jasper wildfire for years to come. In Hinton, Jeremy Thompson, CTV News.
If all goes well, Patricia Street Deli could be opening its doors in September. The family business was a staple in Jasper before it was destroyed. CTV's Merrick Takash has an update on the deli's new location in Edmonton.
It's been nearly 1 year since the Leaches moved away from the town of Jasper.
Well, we left our life in Jasper, and we're starting out new here, and so that whole experience hasn't been easy, like transitioning from a small mountain town to the city.
Wendy and Glenn Leach started the Patricia Street Deli 21 years ago. Since then, they've built a loyal customer base of locals and tourists.
The relationships we built over 20 years, they've stayed with us. The people are waiting patiently for us to open. So many fond memories that we can't even count.
CTV News spoke with the Leach family last summer, just after fire forced them out of Jasper.
It's still there. It's standing. I think the Deli's untouched.
It turns out the Deli suffered severe damage and couldn't reopen.
I think we found out in October that, yeah, we're done. And there was nowhere to rebuild in Jasper at the time, and so we just started looking at Edmonton. We need to get open. It's our livelihood.
Yeah. But that hasn't happened yet. Their new location behind MacEwan University has been empty for weeks, awaiting a construction permit.
Now we have 14 feet of sandwich bar serving the customers. Behind us this wall will be gone.
Once the engineers got in here and did what they needed to do, they realized that there wasn't enough power to run all of our equipment. And so then that has to be resolved before the city can issue a permit.
The Leaches hope to be serving sandwiches again in September. They're looking forward to seeing new and familiar faces 4 hours west of where it all started. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Water safety advocates raised a flag on the legislature grounds to commemorate World Drowning Prevention Day.
Keep going. There we go.
At the event, people also shared their experiences with drowning and close calls. One woman says she was walking her dog when it saw a flock of geese and darted into the river. She instinctively went after the dog and fell in too. Fortunately, she was rescued. She feels she has the responsibility to tell people her story so people understand the dangers of water.
We're very used to our routine, like what happened to me. And, when it comes to water, things can be very unpredictable. And so we have to really take necessary precautions being around the water.
The Life Saving Society says about 40 to 50 people drown in Alberta every year. The Edmonton Police Service hit the mall today with some extra company.
I'll probably start over here. I know all the good stuff.
Operation Soul aims to build relationships between law enforcement and Indigenous youth. Officers help the kids shop for new shoes.
In a lot of ways, it creates trust, right? There's trust for the uniform, trust for police officers.
It really shows, outside of policing, that officers are just people trying to do their job.
30 kids took home new footwear from West Edmonton Mall Foot Locker. Coming up next, which Alberta city has been named the most active community? Also just ahead, cementing his legacy, a look at a local coach inducted into the Alberta's Hockey Hall of Fame.
It's surreal, I think, is probably the best way to put it. And I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't a little bit of imposter syndrome going on there.
It was quite the mix of weather this week. We had cool days, a hot day, and some good storms. Now it's the weekend. What does it hold in store? Well, temperatures in the low 20s and a chance of showers as well. I'll break it down. I have your 5-day forecast coming up.
A southern Alberta restaurant has shut down its food facilities after more than 200 people who ate there got sick. Alberta Health Services has declared a gastrointestinal outbreak at Saskatoon Farm near Okotoks. 235 people have become sick after eating at the restaurant last week. 2 have been hospitalized, with 1 released since. Dozens of people have tested positive for E. coli. Several have also tested positive for a parasite rarely found in Alberta or even Canada. Because symptoms from the rare parasite can take a while, AHS is asking anyone who visited the restaurant since June 30th to be tested.
And so we're in that timeline that we would expect for the symptoms right now to be E. coli. The Entamoeba histolytica requires a little bit longer from when someone may be exposed to when they might start having symptoms. And so that's in part why we're going back to July 1st, again, out of an abundance of caution.
The farm's water system is the likely culprit of the outbreak. Saskatoon Farm has since switched to a different water source. It says the restaurant and food facilities will remain closed until testing shows the water system is safe. A University of Alberta athletics legend has solidified his name in Alberta hockey history. The Pandas head coach, Howie Draper, is now a member of Alberta's Hockey Hall of Fame. One thing has stayed consistent in all of these pictures, that's Howie Draper. He has been leading the University of Alberta Pandas women's hockey team for nearly 3 decades. His picture now hangs on another wall.
How do you put it in English?
Draper is part of the latest class inducted into the Alberta Hockey Hall of Fame.
It's surreal, I think, is probably the best way to put it. And I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't a little bit of imposter syndrome going on there.
However, his resume proves he is far from an imposter. Draper is the winningest coach in U Sports women's hockey history, picking up 8 national championships, being named Coach of the Year 4 times,
Canada has made magic in Madison,
and winning multiple gold medals with Team Canada.
It's not a matter of just, hey, he played or she played at the at the Olympic level or whatever. What kind of people are they? What did they contribute? What impact have they had? And have they inspired the next generation?
Draper is the 10th person or team inducted into the hall that spent time with the U of A, joining his former coaches, Claire Drake and Billy Morse.
When Coach Drake came through the doors, I think his focus was on helping young men grow. I think when your values are good values and you have them for the right reason, again, it's amazing what heights you can achieve.
Draper was inducted alongside 6 others, including longtime Edmonton Oiler Ryan Smith and 3-time Stanley Cup champion Joe Nieuwendyk. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton. Red Deer has been crowned the winner of the Participation Most Active Community in Alberta for 2025. This is the 4th year in a row that Red Deer has won the award for the province. Local organizations team up and log all their physical activity. Hal Johnson, co-creator of Body Break, adds his take on why Red Deer have won this award.
So it really comes down to infrastructure and people that lead the charge for people to be active. If there was one drug that a doctor would prescribe that would be perfect for everyone, it would be getting out and getting active.
The prize is $15,000 to support active lifestyles in the community. People will be gathering in Drumheller to search for fossils and gems this weekend.
The great thing about going rock hounding in Drumheller, you are never going to walk away empty-handed.
Organizer Anastasia Piekser loves fossils and rocks. Some of the most common rocks and fossils in the region are septarian nodules and petrified wood. Piekser says many people have questions about the do's and don'ts of fossil hunting.
Service collecting basically involves walking around, looking at the ground, seeing a fossil, and picking it up. That's completely, totally okay. Excavating is when you're doing any kind of digging with machines, tools, hands. Unless you have a permit, that's not going to be allowed.
Piekser says while fossils are illegal to collect and keep in Alberta, they are the property of the government and are not allowed to leave the province.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Taking a look at the almanac for today, temperature, we made it to 22, average seasonal high 24, so short by a few degrees. And as we go throughout the weekend, we will be a little bit cooler than our average seasonal high. But as we go throughout next week, our temperatures are set to climb. We'll take a look at that coming up. Let's take a look at today's highs. Again, we made it to 22, Cold Lake 24, Fort McMurray 21. In the south, temperatures were a little bit cooler today than yesterday. Red Deer, Calgary only making it to 19. Medicine Hat, the warm spot, though, at 29. As we take a look at the futurecast, overnight, partly cloudy sky here in the city. And we will start off with a mix of sun and cloud. As we get into the lunch hour and afternoon, we've got more cloud building in. And with that, there's a chance that we could see some scattered showers. So as we go throughout the afternoon, supper hour, just keep an eye on the sky for changing conditions. And then things settle down after that. As we go throughout Sunday, it looks like Sunday morning and early day, We could possibly see some scattered showers as well, but then the cloud will break. Fort McMurray starting off at 8 degrees in the morning, Slave Lake 11, Red Deer 9, Calgary, Lethbridge 11. Some temperatures in the single digits, but most will be just above 10 degrees. As we take a look at daytime highs, fairly similar to what we saw for today. Most temperatures just below, just above 20 degrees. Whitecourt, Grand Prairie, Edson could see some showers, possibly some thunderstorms as we go throughout the day. Red Deer and Calgary looking a bit on the cool side, only highs of 16 degrees and a chance of scattered showers. Here in Edmonton, we are looking better than that. As we take a look overnight tonight, 18, mostly clear, wind light. We start off with a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow and a low of 12, and then 21 for tomorrow. As we go throughout tomorrow afternoon and supper hour, we could possibly see some scattered showers. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. And then Sunday, it looks like morning, early, midday. There's a chance that we could see a few more scattered showers, but then we should get to a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 20. After that, our temperature climbs. 23 Monday, Tuesday 27, and 29 on Wednesday. Possibly even 30 degrees on the last day of July. We start off August 1st at 29, and then our temperatures do fall off with some showers entering into the forecast. Overall, though, not a bad weekend coming our way. Temperatures low 20s with a chance of scattered showers.
Crews are transforming Rogers Place into a monster truck track. They're trucking in loads of dirt for Monster Jam this weekend. Fans who purchase tickets to the pit party can catch all the action, plus meet the drivers and get a closer look at the trucks. Classroom Crusher is one of the new trucks fans can see this year.
So it's a truck that is just too cool for school. It's a school bus that is 12,000 pounds, 12 feet tall, 1,500 horsepower. It's going to be a blast. The tricks we're doing, balancing these trucks on the front two tires, side two tires, it's the wildest thing. So if you've never seen it, you have to come out to Monster Jam. I mean, it is an experience of a lifetime for sure.
Monster Jam runs Saturday and Sunday at Rogers Place. And forget racing, organizers are hoping people will come bounce around at a track near Edmonton's airport this weekend. The Big Bounce Canada Tour is set up at Rad Torque Raceway. It claims to be the largest inflatable event in the world. It has 7 large inflatables, including a 24,000 square foot bouncy castle and obstacle course. That's larger than an Olympic-sized skating rink.
Our castle, you have our DJs in there. It's a full-on party. You have snow, you have bubbles, you have beach balls, a little bit of everything.
Tickets are available online. Rad Torque Raceway will host the event on Saturday and Sunday. The Royal Alberta Museum is giving new life to an elephant that lived in the Calgary Zoo in the 1960s. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti explains.
The Royal Alberta Museum is addressing the elephant in the room as conservation team is sprucing up a juvenile Asian elephant named Gyro.
It's been behind the scenes for most of its existence, and now we're just happy to have it out front of house, having fantastic conservation staff working on it.
When guests come into the museum, they'll see history conservator Gigi Coulis giving him a fresh look.
Yeah, this is totally unique and novel, so it's pretty amazing.
The value is showing some of the things that are done behind the scenes of the museum that people don't get to see every day.
Gyro came from Toronto to Alberta in the 60s. This is a photo of him celebrating 1 year at the Calgary Zoo. In 1967, he died after his female mate knocked him into a dry moat. He was 6 years old and wasn't fully grown.
On our history team, just did like a deep dive because there wasn't a lot of information about him, and she just pulled up all these old newspaper articles.
The ram acquired him in 1979. He's never been displayed to the public before. The museum says while elephants are not native to Alberta, Gyro's time in Calgary makes him a part of provincial history.
He is the only, as far as we know, the only taxidermied elephant in Western Canada and in our collection.
An important reason to keep him looking his best after signs of wear, like these cracks.
So I'm applying it sort of in a small area with cotton balls, but I'm holding with tweezers.
As part of the conservation process, some of this overpaint that is obscuring some of the natural characteristics, that's being slowly and carefully removed so that you can see more of the natural characteristics.
While layers of paint are removed to bring Gyro back to life, a regular museum visitor has already been inspired to paint her own version of the elephant.
A real elephant? My gosh, why not? You know, that's fantastic. And it's life-size, and I'm almost close enough to it.
The museum says Gyro will be on display for the next couple of months. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, well, during this rain this weekend, that might be a great time to go check out the elephant. That's all the time we have tonight. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good rest of your night.